Hello, my name is Tony, and this is my Lectric XP 3.0. I'm going to be giving you my 100-mile review of it. I'm about to hit 100 miles. I'm at 99. I'm using it to commute to work today, and I'm gonna talk about, is this electric bike a good value? Is this electric bike worth it? The electric line of bikes is known for being a good value, low cost for what you get. And because I'm talking while I'm doing a review, I took a less than ideal turn. It's better if I continue straight for one more street. So I bought this Lectric XP 3.0 in November of last year during their Black Friday sales. The base price of this bike is $999. To quickly answer the question, yes, this bike is a good value and it's worth it, I would say, as long as you keep in mind what it's intended for, what it's good for, and use it accordingly. This is not going to be a bike to take on serious off-road terrain, single track or mountain bike trails or loose or sandy stuff. Maybe a beach with a hard, moist sand, it would work okay on, and maybe some flatter fire roads. But I've been using it for commuting, once or twice a week, and one of the benefits is that I'm getting some extra exercise in, and I'm finding that I'm using this bike to run little errands. It's so easy to just hop on and go to the store for something that you need without taking out the car, without taking out a motorcycle. Run to the gas station, convenience store for windshield washer fluid or things like that. So you can do a little bit of off-road like here. The display, I like the display quite a bit. It's got large legible numbers. It's easy to understand what it's showing you. Your speed is easy to see, what level of assist you're at. I went off the sidewalk there. The display and the control gear or the control switches are good. But one of the weaknesses of this bike is the brakes. The brakes, they've been upgraded in the 3.0 versus the 2.0, but compared to the bikes I'm used to and motorcycles and everything else, the brakes are pretty weak for a bike this heavy. And you have to be, every few days it seems like you have to be tightening them, adjusting the brake pads, getting them closer to the disc again. Either they're wearing out fast, or it's just some initial adjustment or break-in of the cables and such. But even when they're freshly adjusted, they're just kind of weak. They're not very strong at all. I have to use 4 fingers on each lever to really slow the bike down, and locking the tires is almost impossible. So I'm going to look at some upgrades for that. The other thing that's not ideal on this bike is the location of the key to turn the bike on, to remove the battery. It's underneath, which is if you have limited mobility, it's kind of annoying. You have to get on your knees or squat. This bike, you almost can't even tell it's electric. It feels very low center of gravity, lightweight. So the front end of the bike is pretty light. You can pop it up over little cracks like that if you're inclined to do so, or if not, you can just slow down and roll over things. The suspension, so yeah, obviously compared to a large travel off-road bike, it's not going to be that great, but for absorbing these little city street bumps and cracks, it's actually pretty good. I was surprised that it's it does have quite a bit of an impact on how comfortable the ride is. I think they made some suspension improvements for this year to the front, but I mean, you can still hear it clank when it tops out a little bit. It could use with a little bit of a top out bumper of some sort, but it does pretty good job if you slow down for the really big stuff. And I highly recommend you get the suspension seat post, either the one from Lectric or some aftermarket one, but it does a great job in the back. It's got a few inches of travel, and it really absorbs impacts into the seat. And also got the comfort seat from Lectric, which for me works pretty well. Some people look at other aftermarket options, but the Lectric comfort seat with the suspension seat post feels great in the back. So let's talk about the power. So the power, the bike is strong. Even on hills that are very steep, you can maintain 14, 15, 16 miles an hour, it feels like. One issue with the power though is that it takes off. When it takes off, it's pretty strong, and it can catch you off guard if you're new to the bike. But once you get used to it, you kind of lean forward, and you want to start off from every stop pretty much using the throttle instead of pedaling, because pedaling will really throw you off because it just thrusts forward as you're in the middle of your second or third pedal stroke. So I think they could do some work on that initial kick in of the motor. They could smooth that out a little bit, although I think with hub motors versus mid-drive motors, that's a common contrast or difference. It's got a walk mode, which, if you have a flat or if some other component that doesn't let you ride the bike normally and you need to walk the bike, you hold the negative or the minus button on the control here, and the bike starts helping you across whatever you're trying to traverse, either uphill or. But the problem with that walk mode is that it's actually, I can demonstrate it here when I go across here. It's a little bit too fast. It can you have to walk pretty fast to keep up with it. Number one. Number two, if you accidentally have your hand too close to the minus button, or you press that, it'll just lurch forward. You turn on the lights by hitting the plus signal, the plus button, and if you make a mistake and hit the negative when you're trying to turn on the lights, it can just like thrust you forward. So I'll go ahead and demo it here. Okay, yeah, you see, so it's using the walk mode, and I'm having to walk fairly fast to keep up with it. Doesn't feel as bad today as it did yesterday because I'm walking faster to get across the street here. But yeah, so it's something to be careful with because of how you might be trying to turn on the lights, and it's actually, you see, this is a small sidewalk here, but you can pop it up over that, and then the rear fatty tire gets over it. For the price, it's a great motor, great amount of power, good flexibility, and ability to change between the different power modes. Yeah, I think I'll do some testing on the different power modes and try to get more precise detail on the top speed on each power mode. But I think PAS 1, or yeah, pedal assist 1, I don't know, gets you to something like 7-8 miles an hour. Pedal assist 2, something like 10. Pedal assist 3 will get you to somewhere between 13-15. Pedal assist 4 will assist you up to 20 miles an hour, and then pedal assist 5 assists you all the way to 28 miles an hour. And yeah, after 25 miles an hour, you start feeling less effect from the assist, but yeah, you can definitely tell that it's doing something even above 25 miles an hour. So like on my commute like this, to preserve battery, and also because I'm on a sidewalk, I'm not going to be able to go that fast. I'm keeping it on pedal assist 3. When I get to the more open sections at the end of my commute, I might do 4 or 5. And then if for some reason I didn't charge the battery fully, or I'm having range issues, I can put it down on pedal assist 2 and get a lot further. The lights, there's an upgraded light available, which is part of the Black Friday package, and it's sufficient to ride in the dark. But okay, so that's a third issue with the bike. The front lights, with the vibration, it kept tipping back down, and so I really had to crank on the nut on the mounting brackets to get it to stay in position, almost to the point where it feels like you're stripping it, but you really got to crank down on it. So I'm going to make a little plastic support bracket or something that rests on the fender to keep it in position. But I mean, once I cranked it down, it has stayed in position. But when I ride at night, I like to have a helmet mounted more powerful light that actually lights up whatever I'm looking at. So I would recommend, if you're going to do a lot of night riding, that you get a flashing light in the front and in the back to be more visible, but also consider a powerful helmet mounted light to improve visibility and directional visibility, where you're looking at. But it's good enough for occasional nighttime riding. I would say it's got enough visibility, especially if you just keep it to 15 miles an hour or lower. Just keep the speeds lower. So I'm happy with the stock lighting, again, for the price, and it's a good value. So the handling on the Lectric XP 3.0 is quite good. The small 20-inch wheels make it flickable, maneuverable, but it still feels pretty stable. Whatever they did with the geometry of the fork angle, the wheelbase, makes it feel very stable. And having these 3-inch tires makes for good bump absorption as well. So it's a good handling bike. It feels lighter, more flickable than you would think from the weight. So I'm really happy with the handling. I had never ridden a bike with small diameter fatty tires like these. I've been riding 27.5-inch mountain bikes and other bikes with larger wheels. The gearing is also very good on this bike, because at the higher speeds you actually can still put some effort into 7th gear and support the motor, which I think is an improvement they made over the 2.0. So the gearing is quite good, although because it is an electric bike, you really only use 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th gear. 4th not even very commonly, but you're likely to use 5th, 6th, and 7th more commonly. The ergonomics of the bike are good for me at 6 feet tall. My wife at 5 feet tall, you can actually adjust the seat down far enough that she can touch the ground comfortably. The handlebars have a good range of heights, although shorter riders do sometimes flip them around so that the angle is better for them. Going back to the tires have tubes that are standard tubes. They're not extra heavy duty, I think, but they do come with slime from the factory now. Although on my first ride I did get some punctures in the front that the sealant was not sealing very well. I added another half bottle of slime to both wheels, or both tubes, and I probably have dozens of thorns in each one now, because I'm in the desert environment. There's thorns everywhere, and the pressure's holding, so the slime, it's doing its job. To quickly answer the question, yes, this bike is a good value and it's worth it, I would say, as long as you keep in mind what it's intended for, what it's good for, and use it accordingly.